Shall I give it to you or just drink mine?
Just say something, dude.
We're gonna try some baijiu from this new baijiu bar. So, come boom bay. Some pizzas from Diego. George, take your seat. We start this.
You're over the other side, George.
But I'm just checking your style, guys. You have so many interesting objects. Interesting, crazy things.
I ordered from Diego Parmigiana. You know that Sherry doesn't eat meat, but I can comply with that.
Okay.
The new entry, Primavera. This is like fresh tomato and stuff, and the quattro formaggi. This is for cheese, boom, and
This is looking like real pizza, finally in Shenzhen.
this is a new format. We start by eating and not only drinking.
I'm a pizza fan. I'm a pizza lover. You know, one of my logos.
This, man.
Okay.
The best pizza in Shenzhen, trust me.
It looks like. Let's try it. I'm a little bit picky with the pizzas. Oh my god, I'm sorry.
Of course, it's for all, but I mean, these serious Italian shit.
Yeah, this is real pizza.
Yo, Freddy, dude.
What's up, Sherry? Creative people.
We have a special guest with us today. It's
Super
been
special guest. The sand is already scrolling. Let's not lose time about it.
I've been-
Jorge, Starman Funk. It's a honor. Nice to have you here with us.
Thank you guys. Same.
Welcome to our studio. The last time you've been here,
Cheers, dude.
the place was under construction. We had the scaffolding. We entered through the
There was
through
no
the plastic cover. There was no place.
There was no
indeed.
place. This is
There was only people.
fucking time flies, dude. So
Yeah.
you must have been here pre-May.
end of May. End of May.
yeah.
End of May
End
was
of May.
still-
End of May.
So we didn't move in until June.
Well, we had the construction work, but when we were doing the construction, all the scaffolding were on.
Oh,
Yeah.
So we had to sneak in.
The place was dusty and dirty, and
Yeah.
now it's
But we had
Insane.
we had our walls up, the divider walls up, or no?
no. There was
It was
I-
empty space.
only was like the metal part, maybe the metallic.
The frame.
The framing.
Yeah,
But yeah, it was nothing.
man.
the studs, the metal studs.
It's crazy. This is the Shenzhen speed.
Shenzhen speed, dude.
This is something out of context in this planet. Amazing.
So
Yeah.
I've known Starman. I wouldn't say like as a personal friend, but I've known him for maybe over 8 years, 7, 8 years.
Been like 9 years. Yeah.
It's been a long time. And Starman was when I met him, he was kind of in the local Shenzhen graffiti scene. And I think the first time that I actually met you was when I did an event in Luohu. It was like an anniversary event for my party, and I purchased a bunch of canvases.
Oh yes,
And I
I
invited
remember.
a bunch of graffiti artists and painters to like paint while the party was going on. I had DJ and band and shit like that.
Yeah.
And you're outside painting this beautiful. It was like a man's face or maybe a woman's face. I don't remember what it was.
Yeah.
But anyways, I think that was the first time. And in that party space, it was a brief meeting, but I've always been a big fan of your artwork and your style and your dedication to arts. And I'm very honored to have you with us today, man.
Thanks, man. It's like same for me. It's my work, it's my passion. But I saw you as well, like growing from the events and what you're building right now. Me and my friends, you know, we have this community of designers, and we are so fan of your work as well. Like what you're doing for the community, for China, giving voice to the artists, designers, the community of foreigners in China, and merging the locals with the foreigners, right? So building the new city. Thank you guys for what you're doing in behalf of all who live here as well.
That's
Thanks.
amazing. You
It's
give
our
me
pleasure.
goosebumps. I mean, I think we are on the same boat in the sense of what brought us to China and what made us stay in China is because we could pursue our passion, right? And I guess that this is the main driver that whoever of us that is in this creative sector in China, if you don't have that passion behind you, triggering things, and if you don't want to have fun by doing it, there's no way you're gonna be able to stay here. I mean,
absolutely.
And so we are happy for the support, but as well we are happy for trying our best to make things happen. As we always say, there's a lot of people. I mean, you mentioned Shenzhen speed. Here, things are happening so fast that at least 80% of the people that I know that have been living in Shenzhen for a long time, they always tell me, I was supposed to be here a couple of months, things happen so fast,
and
now
then
I'm here 10 years,
Yeah.
and boom.
Right?
And then they are doing so cool shit and stuff, but there's not yet that kind of cultural layer for like promoting or talking about it. And either we meet randomly drinking or we meet ourselves in boring events. There's not like that kind of platform or support yet into telling these stories. And people like you and many others that we met around, we know, like we talk to them, you're doing so cool stuff, and how comes I don't know about it? You know, it's like,
right, you know.
So
I mean, like,
let's just talk about it.
Shenzhen's the city of the future, and there's so many, like not even from like the just the foreigner side. Like there's many foreigners doing like amazing thing here, but like there's many people. Let's just say people fucking doing the most fucking unimaginable fucking futuristic shit that you can think of right here in this city that we live in
right now, successfully,
successfully,
like not like trying,
and it's not that is not happening anywhere else in the world.
No way, man, no way.
You know, like this is the place.
And you know what is the other thing? You say foreigners, but what about like also like all the Chinese people?
No, but that's my point. Like, it's not just
very
about foreigners,
difficult, like
you know?
to kind of bridge that gap, right?
Yes.
So we try to give a voice to all of them. Like now, as I told you, when we talked 3 months ago, that we had this idea about doing something in our gallery, trying to bring like art quality on a monthly basis. We were telling you about what we want to do, what we can do with you, and then for one reason or another, destiny happens that we stumble upon Butter and this gallery, and then we are also more linked also to all the Chinese. Let's say
the artist community, Chinese
artist community,
right,
and this is strengthening that reality as well as our intention as our reality, as let's say expats and foreigners doing our thing. Things happen fast, and you cannot think about it. You just do it.
Yeah. You're right. You make me think also the reason why I'm living here in China for so long.
Right.
The same reason. I supposed to be here for 1 year. When I came here was like 1 year and I go back. That was my goal. I had a very successful career as a designer in my country, in Ecuador. I was working in the video game industry as a designer.
I remember like when I met you, you were doing like toys.
Toys. I was doing toys.
Yeah.
So I had it. That's another beautiful thing of Shenzhen. I had the chance to jump from industry to industry, keeping the line, like the skeleton key of this creative lifestyle, but discovering all the things I ever dream about that you don't have even in America.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Maybe back in the day.
Maybe in the 60s, 80s, maybe, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, for me was this is the thing. I was a graffiti artist. This is how I started in this crazy life.
Yeah, that's actually like, because looking at your career, you just left Oppo.
Yeah, recently. Yeah.
As a creative director at this company, and you're about to start your own firm. But what I really want to start with is like your roots. Like, you're from Ecuador, and Ecuador is a very small country that most people don't know anything about.
It's probably the size of a Chinese village.
It's the size of like Shenzhen.
I don't want to exaggerate, but I was saying the other day.
Honestly, it's
the first time in China. We go to my village, and my guy told me, how many people are in this village since we are driving half an hour? Oh, only 4 million inhabitants.
Yes.
And they call it village. Man, the largest city in Italy is 1 million inhabitants. They call village 4 million.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, in that sense, Ecuador is a country of 16 million people.
Okay.
Some people living, like, there was a big migration wave in the 90s. So there are like around 6 million people living outside.
So
Ecuadorians living.
How old are you?
I'm 35.
35. So you were born in 1985.
In the 86.
86.
1986.
In Ecuador.
Yeah. Yes.
Tiger?
I'm a tiger.
Got it. Boom. I've been here too many years.
The next year is the year of the tiger, I guess, right? In China.
I don't
In
know.
the Chinese sign. I think, yeah. Because I'm doing some designs for the next year.
For the tiger?
Yeah. So, yeah, that's how you started.
So you were born in 1985. You have a family of artists, or like you had influence from your? Because like my father's an artist.
Also, right?
Also,
yeah. I think this is maybe the reason why artists follow the artist career, because you have some influence in the family, right?
So what was your influence?
My father was a painter / architect.
All right.
/ he studied many things.
Historian.
Right? No, he like the last career he did, and it's not like he dropped off something in college and tried something else. He studied something and then he wanted to be something else, right? So he was a doctor, then an architect.
Doctor.
This is great, yeah, doctor, because his father,
medicine doctor.
My grandfather, is maybe is one of the most famous ophthalmologists of the country.
All right.
Your grandpa.
So you can imagine every time I go to like check my glasses, people like, "Are you Jorge Calderon? Are you some familiar to like Jorge Calderon, my teacher in the university?" So it was like, this family of like doctors, lawyers, and my dad also was an artist. So yeah, I born in a house that has a table this size with the plots, always making these. This is a beautiful. It's a beautiful childhood, right? And with the time, my father realized that I had affinity to what he was doing. Not my other brothers, not. They was like normal kids. But I always was in the studio, like trying to grab stuff. It's like my son right now. My son is like grabbing my markers and doing graffitis in my studio. I'm like, okay.
Not yet.
No, okay. I get
Or just do it here. Don't do it there. Do it here.
So yeah, I have to like put the rules, because that's how I also was when I was a kid. Right. I was always into this style of art, and I always wanted to do something like that. I wanted to be an architect, but I don't know. I was always looking for my path into the art, but it was very hard. As you mentioned, Ecuador is a small country. Relatively, size-wise, is maybe the size of Guangdong. It's not that small. Maybe it's the size of the United Kingdom. But yeah, it's a very far country on the other side of the world, right? And we don't have the industry as developed as here. But when I grow up, I wanted to do sketches, to do industrial design for the cars of the future. Right. But it was a dream that, you automatically remove from your bucket list, because
you understand
there was no chance, right? So there was many things I wanted to do, because I read a lot of books, and with the internet I wanted to be everything, right? When I was 16, I was sketching a lot of sketches like robots, like tattoos and skateboarding logos and stuff like that. So I was also doing skate back then. My friends, the friends of my brother, my elder brother, came to my house and you have very cool drawings. Can I see it? And I had a sketchbook. He was like, "Oh, you already have a black book." I'm like, "No, it's just a sketchbook." "We call it black book in the graffiti.
Suddenly you were
okay, so I have a black book. Yeah, this is my black book, right? And when I showed them, they was like, "Do you want to be the graffiti writer of our crew? We don't have a graffiti writer." And I was like,
But they were doing what? Like they were rappers.
They
like
were
they
rappers,
like,
breakdancers.
Right.
We have
like the five
street
elements of
artists,
hip-hop, and you were,
hip
like,
hop.
the missing element.
yeah, the missing element was the graffiti. But in the moment I was doing that, there was a bunch of German guys because in Ecuador,
What city?
in Quito. So one of my best friends, Kone, a German guy, he built the first crew of graffiti, the Quito Bombing Squad, QBS.
Wow.
And they was like, bro, join us. Join us.
Do it.
Right. And I was like, yeah. And we start like, I was like mingling with them, chatting with them. And my friends have the opportunity to travel. One is German. So I had the chance to have Berlin graffiti books in my house when I was 16. And this is how I start like getting into this crazy world of graffiti. And then I became a graffiti artist. So my dream of, I want to like go to the galleries.
Make cars.
Yeah, I didn't need it because you can imagine when I turned 16, I had already a graffiti in the biggest spot in the city you can imagine.
Right.
So all my neighborhoods knew me. All my friends in the school knew me. I was already getting like anonymous fame, you know.
Yeah,
Who's the Starman?
Right.
We heard the Starman is
Your
like
art was there.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
Like, yeah.
So how'd you
Yeah.
come up with where the name come? Starman Funk.
Well, first I was writing loco because
Loco,
that was my first
LOCO.
name. Yeah,
Like
LOCO,
crazy.
like crazy because that's how my especially like the elder friends of my brother, they was like, this is like the crazy little guy, you know, like always with us, like always.
Right.
So they told me, like they called me loco. And it was playing basketball in the school that my teacher started calling me Starman. Starman. And I used to write Starman, but I really like to tag very, very long words. So I used to do like 2 times Starman. And I was like, no, maybe let's do something that any graffiti writer do. Let's make a very, very long blockbuster name that can cover the whole block whenever I go. So I made it Starman Funk. It was like, it's like huge name for a graffiti artist.
Yeah.
Most of graffiti writers are like Das, Bas,
Yeah,
Cas,
4 letters,
Das,
5
Don,
letters,
right?
yeah.
Like quick. And I was the Starman Funk, right? That was my marketing campaign strategy.
Nice.
So, yeah, this is how I started. And but in parallel, my family was always pushing me to study something. I was like, you cannot just be a graffiti artist.
So when you were 16 and you were like tagging up the city, like your father and family knew that you were doing this?
No. It was.
So
They didn't know it. They didn't know it. Yeah. So only my elder brother, he knew it. He sponsored me when I turned 16 years old. This is amazing. For a student, it's very hard to like buy spray paint because I don't know if you know, guys. Each spray can.
It's not cheap.
It's not cheap, and the best colors are like super expensive. Not for your pocket when you're 16, right? So I remember I used to get like $1 per day for my lunch. Back then was a lot of money, maybe $5. I don't remember. And I used to like try to don't eat some days to save money for my spray paint. But at the end of the month, I told to my brother, bro, I cannot starve, I need to eat. I couldn't save these months.
And I need colors.
I need the sponsors. I need something, we need to do something. And he was like, your birthday is next week. Do one sketch. I think it's the time to do your first graffiti. And I'm like, what are we going to do? He's like, we can do, in Spanish, in Ecuador, we call it when you ask all your friends to put money for something.
Right, like a coleta,
La coleta. Yeah, we call it vaca, like a cow. We make a vaca and we get it. I was like, oh, cool. So on my birthday, I saw a Fila shoe box on my house with 16 spray cans.
Oh my God, man! Really? Man, you just give me
dude. Yeah,
Fuck.
yeah, I want to cry. And was the tag of my brother, like, do it.
Oh shit!
Man, that was like, because nobody else believed on that, Nobody else believed on that. So I took the 16 cans and I went to this place, this spot, and I make this amazing graffiti. I have a video of that thing.
Okay.
That's 1999 or year 2000. And I painted, my father came to the spot in that time, I didn't live with my father because they divorced. So, but he came to see what what
By
I'm
chance
doing.
or by knowing?
By chance, because he was like just passing by. He's like,
No way.
What the
He
fuck
was
are you
just
doing?
walking
yeah,
by.
he came, and then he's like, yeah, that's what I do. You know,
And what did he say?
it's like that's super cool.
Okay.
That's super cool,
He was
man.
supportive.
And he was supporting, and he was there. Like I remember, he
fuck.
went to like bring the food. But for my mom, it was a little bit like I know this graffiti is a little bit, you know, borderline. So you have to be careful with that. Like you have. So
Jail, my God.
She was probably like inside, like, yeah, fucking.
I love it.
I love it, but
no, to be honest, she was very straightforward with me. She was like, George, try to find something more academic. You know, try to like. I don't want you to like focus so much on this and one day realize that this is not going anywhere because you know
the chances are little in the reality.
Yeah, a little,
of,
and
like,
it's a trend. You know, in 5 years nobody's going to do graffiti anymore. I understand this is how she was thinking to protect me, right? But and I appreciate that because she pushed me to study design. Right, and I was like, I think I don't want to study art because that's a big dream. I don't want to break my heart. I don't want to like go to the art school. How many friends I knew that was going to the art school and they never,
that's true.
you know, it's like in Ecuador you have
very abstract knowledge at the end.
It's like you know, like it's not so easy. We have some Ecuadorian artists like Guayas Amin and Dara Crown, worldwide famous artists that they made it, but again it's like what 1%,
maybe
1%? Yeah, right. So but I was like maybe it's such a big dream, but design might be something I can do. Anyhow, the Institute of Design was very expensive in Ecuador because it was a very new career relatively. It was like no more than 20 years of story.
Okay.
So I study business.
Oh,
that's how I started.
Okay.
Like I finished my high school and I went to study business and administration, and I realized that's not for me. So
fuck no, it's not for you.
Not for me. You don't do it. That's not for me. I was in that test.
There's probably good things you can learn from business school as an artist.
Yes.
But as a fucking like a young person who's like a sponge brain, it's definitely fucking not the right thing for you to fucking start learning.
Was not for me, but I was very respectful with my parents, and you know, I was there for like respect of what they want to do with me. So I'm kind of like okay to follow that rule, but inside of me I was dying. You know, like I want to do, and I saw all my friends doing design, and they was like doing good businesses doing design. I was like,
right.
Man, I can do that.
It can happen,
right? And there's one day, my marketing teacher, because we have marketing in the business class,
right?
And I fall in love with marketing because of that class, and I see like how you can help society having this sensitivity of understanding what the market wants and translate that and use arts to tell them,
like giving value in terms of market to the art that you could create.
Exactly. Yeah. And one of the assignments was build a company and do the advertisement. So we have to do a logo, and in my group of friends that we have to do this group of work, when we have to do the logo, all of them point at me. You have to do the logo, of course. Right. And I did a logo that when I did the logo, my teacher in the class said, George, you should go and study design.
What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, what are you doing?
What are you doing here?
Seriously. And I was like, I have to leave it. And that's what I did. In secret, I registered myself in the Institute of Design, actually in the University of Design. I got the spot. And I got it, and I paid it by myself. I didn't ask my parents for that, and I started studying design. And when was
in parallel still to the business school, or you decide to quit to do that?
No, before I quit, I wanted to like be ready, you know. Because
okay.
It was like so in the summer break, the whole family like let's go to the beach all together, and they start talking. Okay, like how is going to be the next semester. And I'm like, guys, I have to tell you, I quit business and administration, and I'm already registered in the University of Design. I was like, are you crazy? I'm like, no. And I'm not asking for money. I'm going to pay this myself.
Fucking A, dude.
And the whole family was,
Impressed. Like, okay.
we support you. Yeah.
That's the right thing,
That's
man.
good.
And that's the right thing. Yeah. First year in my university, I got an award for the university. Second year, another like 2 awards. I got the we call
The
it.
top 10, the selected artist, right? Was it Adidas or?
Oh yeah, that's another story. Like yeah,
That's a huge thing.
Dude, my life-
You're saying it as if it's nothing. It's like, man.
dude, my life just started when I studied design. It was like all my life, like waiting for that moment. You know?
Mhm.
All right.
So you can imagine, like I was so full of passion, best student, best qualifications, best everything. I was like just shining. And yeah, I got some awards. I got 3 years national champion of graffiti in Ecuador in a row. 2005,
The
6, and
best
7.
graffiti artist in
Best
Ecuador.
graffiti artist in Ecuador. That's
It doesn't happen by chance. I mean,
doesn't happen by chance. And 3 years in a row, you know. After the 4th year, they say, "Can you just be the judge because you're gonna, you
Can you
know?"
please stop subscribing?
Yeah.
Can you please stop applying? Because
Yeah, dude, like you want to be the judge, and yeah, it was beautiful. You know? It was a beautiful thing.
crazy.
Adidas, that was this agency that one day called me, like, can you bring all your portfolio? We want to check if we want to make a commercial, and we want the graffiti. I already did some like these commissions for like background graffiti for these
Right.
kind of breakdancer video or something like that, right? But that time I was actually no. When I arrived, they said, "Well, this is Adidas. Adidas Originals is opening stores in Ecuador, and we want to." Well, back then they didn't say KOLs or influencers or this kind of
Right.
new
It was
name.
not existing
It
yet,
was not existing,
man.
but there was the term of brand ambassador.
Oh, okay.
Right.
So they say-
right.
Dude, you have everything we want, so
Let's do it.
let's do it. Like we have to do these videos, and
man.
you're going to get the clothes. And it was like,
They pay you?
dude, they pay me for the paint for that was amazing. They pay me for they made a contract, right? That was my first contract with like
Like a real contract with
Big-
the corporation?
a corporation, right?
They got all the paints, of
Yeah.
course.
All the paint. Well, actually, during that time, I was working already for the video game industry. So
Okay. In Ecuador.
in Ecuador,
Why are you going to school?
while I was going into school, this is
dude.
the good thing of Ecuador. You can study and work because the system how we study. Maybe we study more years, probably, but you have the chance to work in the day and study in the night.
All right.
It was very tight, but we can do that, right? So I was like coming back to the university 6 p.m. I finish work 6
PM.
p.m. I arrive. I don't know how I made it 6 and 10. I was in the university, and then 10 p.m. back home to make the homeworks. I finish maybe 2-3. Wake up 6 a.m. Go back to work for 5 years.
Oh, fuck. That's
Was-
tough, man.
Fuck, that's hardcore.
Crazy, man.
Right.
Yeah, fucking what a story, man.
been
It's-
tough.
Crazy, yeah, that was hard. But I don't know. I had the energy and I had the.
No, but it means, I mean, it was your path. Those things doesn't
Yes.
happen by chance, man.
Yes.
I mean, it's not like fucking guanxi or something. You
But this
is
were
why
doing
you're-
quality
why
work,
you're
and you
in
were putting
Cal-
it in the fucking
university.
street, into their face. People see it, and it's fucking good. Dude.
Yeah, it was. You can imagine, like I was a kid with the blessing and opportunity to have free billboards of my name everywhere, so the whole city knew me somehow,
Right.
right? And it
But-
was
so you were in university in design school. While you had a contract with Adidas, while you had your artwork up on billboards across the city.
yes,
Fucking
Dude.
A, dude. That's
Yeah.
talent, dude.
yeah. Some
That's
of my
like real talent, man. Like
yeah, I think it's passion, right? It's like I don't know. It's like
no,
as you say,
it's-
I born for that.
beyond
man.
passion.
I-
It's
and
beyond
that's what.
passion. It's talent, dude.
And it's 10 years living
have
here
this
out.
gift. You have a gift.
Yeah, you have to just
What
do it.
brought you to China initially? Was it like self decision, an opportunity?
So the story is that I just finished my university, and right away there was a post in the community of designers of Ecuador saying that there is a company in China looking for a designer. I applied. Like I started applying to it, everything I could, even though I was working in Caribou Games, and also first I work in Blue Lizard Games. They split and they become Caribou Games, and that's where I was working. I started as a 2D artist.
Like Blizzard?
No,
like,
Blizzard.
No, Blizzard.
That's
Blue
funny.
Lizard.
Oh, okay.
Blue Lizard. Yeah,
Okay, I thought
everyone
Blizzard.
is like, oh my God, it's Blizzard. No, it's Blue Lizard Games.
Okay.
Right. Yeah, we used to do like casual games, not like Unity stuff. But there was a lot of technical stuff. So, yeah, I was doing animations and creative direction and working with a very tight production timeline.
Making it happen.
Yeah, and the company was a branch of a Canadian company. So, what was my first job? I need to speak in English in my work. Living in Ecuador, so it was like my first job. Was an international job, and was the first time I worked for a corporation in my hometown.
And speaking English.
And speaking English, right? So it was like, dude,
Well, it was kind of a
The world
dream
is calling me.
situation, like
Yes.
solid, like boom.
yeah. So I knew it. That the next step is out of the country, out of start.
There was
you have to
nothing
go.
better than that. What
Yes.
you could have around you, right?
Yeah, some of my friends told me, "Hey, you stayed in Ecuador. You know where you could be right now." Like, dude, I am right now where I have to be right now because this is my path, and I choose it. Of course, I lose a lot of networking.
Or no, not necessarily. You gain a lot of
On the
networking.
time being, I mean, it's like, but
I mean, listen, man. Like, what I think about you and your situation and your past, and I don't want to say past, but your history and involvement to the present day. If you wanted to go back to Ecuador right now, you would still have all of the Ecuadorian connections you could dream of, and you have
the
all
international fame.
of the international connection you dream, and all of the Chinese connections you could fucking possibly want.
Yes, man. I don't regret.
So,
I don't regret. I mean, there is a sacrifice always, right?
Of course,
Always, man.
But it's really worthy. It's really worthy, and I love this city.
So you're working for Blue Lizard, not Blizzard. You saw this job post about looking for a designer or some position, creative position in China, and you applied for it.
And I applied for it. And when I applied for it, I realized that there was already an Ecuadorian designer working for this company. There was an Ecuadorian family, American family, taking
Already in China,
already in China,
Oh shit!
making this company. Light Up Toys is a company built with
So this is the
Americans.
toy company that you were working for.
This is where like my first 3 years in China. They brought me.
Shenzhen.
Or,
yeah.
So it was like, yeah, they call me, right? They call me. We saw your profile, we saw your website, and you have some cool stuff there. As a graffiti artist, it's part of our culture to do characters and do products as an artist.
Right.
I used to do my toys. I started doing graffiti toys. So my characters, these
Like IP, yeah.
I used to do a lot of that. Right,
Okay.
and I put those on my website, and this guy, this general manager of this toy company,
Perfect.
saw it and was like, "And
Perfect.
speak Spanish
You're
and
the
speak
guy.
English, dude. Let's call this guy." So when they call me, they say, "Do you want to come?" Yeah. How? When do you want me to be there? In 15 days.
When can you be on a flight?
Yeah, it's like the next flight is like in 15 days. Can you come back? Can you come in 15 days? And my answer was yes, like right away. I said yes. And then after I was like, let me Google this company again.
Right.
To be careful. that
Where is
everything-
Shenzhen, actually?
Where is
Like-
Shenzhen?
Yeah.
Really? Like when he called me like is Shenzhen next to Hong Kong, I was like, what is Hong Kong? Like was like,
I mean,
Bro,
I know
this is-
I understand we talk about it in
When you
other
come from the other
podcasts,
side,
it's
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
it's like when I told you like,
Shenzhen?
do you know?
mean like Shanghai, like Shenzhen?
Yeah, I was like, Shanghai, Shenzhen, what is that place? and they told me, well, Shenzhen is the future. This is something I remember
what
when
he
they
said?
told me. Yeah,
No way.
they told me Shenzhen is the future.
He's true.
And the future is now.
And the future is now. And he
Boom.
told me this city didn't exist 30 years ago, and now is one of the most rapid economical growth in the planet.
But I think you have been here long enough now that, I mean, the city itself, you know that if you live 2 months, you come back already. You have probably a skyscraper in front of your house.
Exactly.
And then you've been here in Nantou 3 months ago. We were cladded with the scaffolding,
This
the
office-
road was constructed. Look at
This
what we
office
have
didn't
now,
exist
man.
like.
It didn't exist 3 months ago.
All right.
Man, Shenzhen is the most influential city of today that nobody knows about.
Exactly.
You're right. You're right. Like everybody watching now, all the devices you're like taking. Now
They're
in your
made
hands,
here.
It's
Right
made in
here,
this
dude.
city, guys,
Yeah.
and nobody knows that.
And even the screen on your phones and the things, they're coming
Yes,
from
this
here,
is-
man.
This is coming from this city. Yeah, right. And,
But it's crazy how much of a how do you say, like a delta of like a differential there is between how much internationally people know about Shenzhen. Like
Yeah.
maybe they start hearing about it, but if you're not in the sector,
Yeah.
and on the other side, how many fucking things are happening all here, and how many things are produced all fucking here. There's a dichotomy
It's a
between
huge-
these two,
yeah,
like
different.
knowing and happening that is crazy, no?
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, it makes sense. Like it's a city that nobody knows. Nobody knew it existed. Like 30 years ago, this was like what?
Nothing.
Nothing. Mountains,
Nothing, man.
right? So.
And then there is also the thing that for most of our, let's say, friends and family that kind of never left the country or being around there, say, oh, you're in China, they think that, you know, I'm back in the 80s.
Fucking
Oh, yes, yes, yes,
In the
yes.
street eating
bicycles.
like wudong and riding bicycles. Man,
Absolutely.
in 6 months, I'm going to come here from my home in Nantou, from my home in Futian, coming to Nantou
I
in a
think-
fucking drone driving me here.
Yeah.
driverless, you know? It's like,
And it's going to happen here.
and you know
Yeah.
why? Because they're gonna experiment it right fucking here.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah. Absolutely. When I went to Japan for first time, so
And Japan's always like the high tech city.
that's the myth of the future, right?
exactly this is a myth. When I was in
Like
Ecuador,
Godzilla
I
fucking-
studied Japanese because I wanted to apply for a grant in Japan. That was my dream. I want to go to. I always wanted to go to Asia.
Right.
If you see my paintings when I was 16, I used to paint
Asian
Chinese,
Yeah.
Japanese temples all the time. I studied Kempo, Karate, and all this. I always liked that. So when I came, I was like, Japan is the future. That's the future, right? That was my dream. When I came to China, I live in Shenzhen for so long, and I have this opportunity to work in Tokyo, right?
Okay.
So like 3 years ago, around, I go to Tokyo for first time in my life, right? The city of the future, right? With all the respect to my Japanese friends, after you live in Shenzhen,
It's nothing.
Tokyo has no place in Shenzhen, man.
Yeah, it's nothing.
Man, nowadays, really, like, I tell you, like, for me, as an architect, as a person that is literally involved into building cities, and my studio, which I make a living with, is based here, I can tell you that the only reality I could somehow compare in terms of development, not in terms of status, because, like, I want to specify that because, of course, like New York is in a situation like that, but is not able to develop further in terms of futuristic attitude and way of living.
It could.
Could, but like here you have the space and things are coming out of scratch.
Yes.
So there's no need of refurbishment.
No, but New York could develop.
Could develop.
Could, but there's too much bureaucracy and red tape
Right.
and bullshit that
It may
prevents,
take,
prevents it.
10
And you
years
have the
to
historical,
decide,
like in
you
the
know.
whole American country, in the American continent, you have this historical baggage or weight.
Yeah.
You have to decide, you have to build things thinking about the past, the heritage.
Well,
it's not so easy.
We had this conversation like several times on this podcast, right? It's about like building a fucking high speed train.
in Los
Okay.
Angeles.
Los Angeles, San Francisco.
Forever.
You know, the reason why San Francisco and Los Angeles don't have a fucking high speed train, because somewhere along the way, there's these fucking frogs that are semi endangered, and the train track's gonna fucking drive through their inhabitants, and they can't fucking build there because the environmentalists or whatever the fuck they need to do has to fucking work out the paperwork. This is
Since
30,
50 years, they're still discussing.
30 years.
30 years, still discussing.
If you go to Lima, right, the capital of Peru,
Yeah.
there is they have the administration of districts, right? I love Lima. It's one of my favorite cities in the world. It's hectic. It's huge, right? And each district has a different kind of like major. So they have different political backgrounds or parties
So
or
like
whatever.
The city itself is broken up into
It's broken in because it's so big. You have to administrate.
Big
different-
is in what way? Big is in San Francisco big? Big is in Los Angeles big?
I have to
big is
Google
in-
it, but it's.
I can tell you one thing, just because it is low rise, so it's super extended. It's like almost like
Like in the
Mexico City.
valley?
If you put them all together into a high rise, it would be maybe shrinked in half, but it's low rise,
It's
so
like-
it's super extended, and then it goes up hills because it's between the
Yes.
mountains.
You've been to Lima?
Yes.
No, but I know very well Lima in terms of the development of the.
It's like
city.
the density of the population of Peru, 90% or something like this, is
Right.
living in Lima. You can imagine. So it's
90% of the
it's a
fucking
country
country's
city.
living in one city.
Yeah.
That's
It's crazy. And they start building these speed train to connect the city, right? When you go now to Lima, they have this bridge empty because in the 90s, one district didn't agree with the construction of this and that,
Of the bridge.
and they didn't want it. And the bridge was like built around the city, but they couldn't build there, and that construction died.
Wow.
And now it's a monument to the bureaucracy and the
The bullshit of the city.
to the bullshit of the system.
yeah. So you don't see that in China.
Right.
Here you just see the progress.
Fucking go. Like, we need this fucking train from here to here because our people need to go fucking from here to here. We're going to build it.
Yes,
That's it.
and
no,
yeah,
No questions.
And
No
if they have to kick you out, they will pay or compensate
they
you for
fucking
that. I
kick
mean,
you out.
like-
And if you cannot be kicked out, they fucking just build the road and
around you,
around you.
and
And
corner
then-
you, like good luck now.
Yeah,
You don't want-
fucking
okay.
have a good life, dude.
okay, we have to keep doing it right. And I knew about it before I came to China, and I really want that.
Right.
I think it's.
And
I mean, it's great, man. It's sometimes too much bullshit gets in the way of the progress that the people need, and the Chinese don't care about the bullshit. They care about the progress of what the people need to have a fucking successful life on a large scale for everybody.
Large scale and long run.
And
In a row, and they are
thing,
thinking
you know,
in
like-
centuries, right?
Yeah.
I think this is something we don't.
Absolutely. That's a very. I think that's a very big difference.
You know, and there might be some people that are fucking angry or not happy with the decisions that are made, but on the fucking long run,
We find a way.
they'll take care of them, and they'll fucking make it work. You know, and they get it done, man. They want to fucking train from Shenzhen to Shanghai in 3 years.
And it will
2.5,
happen.
It's
Gonna
ready.
You go there in 3 years, and the train is there.
It's there.
In fact, you know, one of the things that I mean, we talked about this many times, but as an individual, as a creative person, that try to make my way through, and I mean, if I was in Italy, I would have never started my practice and building shit at 29 years old. You know, like in Italy, before you are 40, there's no way. You're not even looking at the possibility.
working for
of it.
somebody.
Like, so, the cool thing is that, like, let's say you go out, even 10 years ago, you know, when there was like not WeChat, no, you know, the social media and everything, the people you meet, especially in Shenzhen, you would always talk about possibilities. What can we do together? What you do, what I do, ideas. You go back home, people are complaining.
Fucking.
You know, it's like you're never talking about what can we do together. It's about, I don't know. I think this is in the old country, whether it's Europe or US, there's always this like coming back, try to take you down in China, but you really eat in the streets things. Like, you know, there is this kind of trying to like bring the bar closer to them, and you talk about problems and complaints in here.
Yeah.
This never been an issue. Most of the things I've been doing in terms also of business and opportunities in Shenzhen, they were not kind of part of the plan. That happened because I found myself in the right moment with the right people, and fuck, we give it a try, and we go with the flow.
Yeah.
You just
But
go
then
for it,
things
man.
happen and
Yeah.
fast, and
Absolutely.
and that's, I think, what is able to support this layer of entrepreneurship and creativity.
Yes.
Because I mean, there is no limit.
Yeah.
Let's try to do it.
Yeah. And something also that I identify here, what happened in Shenzhen, and everybody knows, is a city that is new, and there is a lot of internal migration, right? All the provinces are coming here, because here you have the giants, you have Tencent, you have, right? All these technology giants are here in Shenzhen. And yeah, you have a lot of people coming here, right? So there is a huge layer of young people. You don't have much like old people coming here, or young or babies like living here. Now it's happening. People is trying to live
Like
here.
make families. Like before, like we had this conversation. Like we never met anybody that was born in Shenzhen.
Or very
But now you meet
Now
some
it's Armenian.
like some
Like,
21-year-olds.
indeed, it's a very young city. There is no way that 10 years ago you would meet someone born in Shenzhen.
yes.
At that time, maybe they were maximum 12, 13.
Yeah. Like I have a lot of Shenzhenese friends, a lot, and I met them like before. It was like, wow, everybody was like, wow, really, you're Shenzhenese? So you were in the city? How? Yeah, there was people living here, right? So what I want to say with that is that maybe that's the reason that gives so many opportunities, because people come here without these preconcepts, and you come here to build, right? This is right. I don't see this in other bigger cities in China, right? The other thing is, because people is coming here doing some work for 1-2 years, and they go back to home. The
They go
rotation
home, yeah.
was so high before.
Super much, man.
Right, because
That
it's-
was also for us as expats. Like you meet someone and it's
Oh,
gone.
like
Man,
I don't have.
I would say it's almost it's still the same.
yeah,
it's
now
a-
because you can travel, but yeah, it's always been the case.
It's always been like Shenzhen has always been an airport city. Like
Yes.
80% of the people you meet, they're gonna be gone in the next 2-3 years.
Yeah.
Maybe a different city in China.
I'm talking even about 2-3 months. There's people that come here 2-3 months, go back, and then
Go
come
back.
back.
Right.
I started like this, man.
Yeah.
A year and a half. I've been back and forth between here and the Netherlands.
Yeah, for me it was a little bit different, because I had I have a kind of like a long contract always, and I always have like my project was always like long. So
All right.
this is how.
So like
now I'm 9 years here.
So let's go back to, because that's one thing I want to figure out. Is like you were in Ecuador, you got the contract for the game company, and you were negotiating with them about the contract while you were in Ecuador, or talking about the job, and they were here and you were in Ecuador, and finally you said, okay, let's make it happen. We want to hire you, and they fly you here first before you were officially hired, or
Well,
you,
no,
like, you
yeah,
joined the
I had to-
company and then you flew over.
I have to. It was actually tough for my previous company, because I was the art director, and I had a huge project
In Ecuador.
in Ecuador. And it's like, in video games, it's a production of 9 months,
Yeah.
and we was like in
At
the 8
least,
months.
you know.
I left on a very crucial moment for the game, because I had to combine all the assets and do the art direction to build it, and it was very my style.
The game.
Yeah, the game was like.
No,
It was-
his
that was my
style. It
job.
like perfect for
I
him.
have to put. Yeah,
Okay.
it was very on my style, right? And when I left, I told to my boss like, I have this opportunity to go to China, and the guy was like,
What the fuck are you
Bro.
talking about?
okay, as a friend I am, dude, go to China. I'm supporting you. But in the
Couldn't
same,
you stay one more month to finish it?
no, he was like, bro, take this opportunity, because you don't know if there is a second one. Listen, me, go. But now, as your boss,
I'm fucked.
man, you put me in the worst situation. I will find a way to figure it out. They figure it out. They fix it. But he was like, oh man. But go. Go. What do you need? And like he resigned me. We pay everything. It was like
he was good to
proper.
Good to you, yeah.
I had a good farewell there, and all my friends also, my teachers in the university, because I finished the university, but I didn't finish the thesis.
Okay.
So it's like you can graduate, and the other things like the diploma.
Yeah. Okay.
There's like a difference. So I left Ecuador. I came here to work, and in the meantime, I supposed to make my thesis in 6 months, but it took me like a year because I was working here in China. And then I came back, and my teachers helped me to make it faster because they knew what I was doing. I needed like 100 credits, but I didn't know that when you have international credits, counts like double. So for me, it was like, man, you're working in China already, like. Done, you know. Yeah. So and I was very good friends of my teachers. As I told you, I gave like 6 major awards to the university,
Right.
and I never took it. You know, I have like these huge things, and I told to the teachers, leave this in the shelves of the university. What is going like? This is better for the university than for my house, right? And I'm leaving. My home is, I don't know where's my home, so. It was good. So when I came back, my teachers are like, do you want to have a speech? Do you want to like, it's always good, you know?
You need.
Man, they are always happy with me. So yeah, that's how it started. And all my, graffiti is a very crew thing. You move by this crew, this tribe, group of people. When I came to Shenzhen, there was a huge period doing no graffiti.
You didn't have your crew?
Zero. No crew.
You cannot just go to a wall and do something.
You just don't know.
To jail, probably.
And you're in a foreigner country, you always respect more this kind of craziness. Right? So I just came here and I was, okay, time to focus on my career, on what I study in the university for.
On your apartment's wall, eventually.
No, I was doing I always paint at home, and I was trying to do more digital work.
Right.
More animations. And I'm a big fan of Gundam, the robots. And when I came to China, I was like, wow, there are so many shops. I started building the Gundam models.
No,
I couldn't find in Ecuador. Yeah.
Like fucking you build it piece by piece?
Yeah, the piece by piece. Yeah, I'm a big collector of Gundams.
Wow.
So.
No way. I always looked at that shit and like, like it's like these kits. They come in like this fucking small ass fucking thin box, but then when you put it together, it's this fucking huge ass robot with like 30,000 fucking pieces
and everything moves. Sometimes you have lights.
Yeah, it's fucking just like crazy, dude. It's like Legos like on crack.
Yeah.
Like you have to like get some piece of super glue and a fucking magnifying glass and
Wow.
Japanese Legos, basically.
Ninja Legos.
Ninja Legos,
dude.
Yeah, so that's another passion I have, and that connects me with the products and the toys I like. It's another way to explore art, and I spend a lot of time doing that in my free time. I'm a little bit extrovert. I like to talk with people. I enjoy the social connection.
And before you, sorry to interrupt you, but before you came to Shenzhen, have you traveled to other countries?
Yeah. Thanks to graffiti, actually, I had a chance to represent my country as a representative artist of Ecuador.
At which places?
In all America, the whole continent.
So North and South America.
Yeah.
But never Europe or Asia.
No, never Europe. I never jumped the paddle. So I never jumped the continent.
Went over across the lake.
I never crossed the lake. Yeah.
So you fucking show you show up, you get the job making toys. Fucking get on that plane. You fly to China for the first time across the lake. You land in the fucking airport.
3 lakes, maybe. What? Yeah.
Yeah, because you have to fucking like travel all around like the fucking globe. You land, and what was like your first like impression? What year was it? Just to put the year in perspective.
2012.
2012. So you showed up in fucking Shenzhen. You fly in Hong Kong first or Shenzhen?
Hong Kong.
So you flew to Hong Kong.
Hong Kong. taxi.
Shenzhen didn't have the airport yet at that year, man.
Yeah, there was no
Like,
airport in
no.
Shenzhen.
No, man.
They had the old airport.
Yeah, the old airport, but obviously local.
Yeah,
was not,
local was
yeah.
not an international.
The
So you
airport
didn't even see
now
Hong
is not
Kong. You
there.
just fucking got in a
No,
taxi
yeah, I
directly to
just,
Shenzhen.
I just arrived the 21st of June of 2012,
And
the
then?
day after my birthday.
And what did you think? You showed up and you're like, what the fuck? Or like, this is the best
So-
shit ever?
So Hong Kong, of course, is impressive. The Hong Kong airport, you know, is #1 in the world. Many years was like the first airport in the world. So was an impressive technological development there. And when I come to Shenzhen, I crossed the bridge. I saw the huge city. I crossed the river, right? Yeah, and the hotel was next to Ba'an. Our office was next to the plant, next to the factory. So it was like a factory area. You know, the factories areas of Ba'an are very not so beautiful, right? So my
But
first
now
impression.
it's fucking beautiful.
Now
Now,
is
yes, but man, 10 years ago.
10 years
Yeah,
ago,
10 years
nothing.
ago.
and that's another point of how crazy Shenzhen is.
Wasn't even the highway, not even the metro coming there. I mean, it was.
There was some metros there, but just the green line,
Okay.
right?
To
No, I'm
Bawang?
lying.
To
You have two
Bawang?
lines,
No.
yeah.
Yeah.
To Ba'an, you have the green line,
And line
Bond
6 or
station,
something.
yeah,
That went to like
In-
Chile to fucking
and
Boji.
exactly, and that one, the purple one.
Yeah.
That was it. Now we have like 4 lines.
Yeah, no, it's fucking
Yeah,
all
yeah.
over.
Where and I live next to the line 11, so I can
The
Go to
speed
Futianing,
one.
like,
Yeah, nice, that one.
super
20
fast.
minutes fucking show up.
Is
The first metro in the world I've seen with the first class.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Yeah.
with an sky
Like,
Yeah.
with a
crazy,
sky
man. Like,
design in the top. Yeah, it's very cool.
But that was not here when you showed up. So
No,
when
when
you
I-
showed
when-
up, what was
When I
what
was
your-
arrived, was like a little bit like
But it must have been like more high tech than.
that Ecuador. No, like for me it was like Ecuador in the 80s. That place, Ba'an was like, it's okay.
Oh yeah, Bawang, yeah.
Yeah, but that place was like okay. It's like, you know, but in that random place you see crazy technology happening. You know.
right.
You know, that was like very weird. And yeah, it was interesting. It was a very nice place. I have the blessing of being working in this Ba'an area that had a lot of local food places. So my first impression was 7 a.m. I woke up next day. I go downstairs. I was in that hotel. I go downstairs and I walk to the office following the Google Maps. Back then was working. So I was following the Google Maps, and all this road was full of the dumplings,
All right.
steaming dumplings, and it was a very romantic chapter. You know, it was like the steam of the dumplings.
This early morning.
Early morning, very Chinese. The Chinese music in the background, the old people walking around. You know, it was a very nice beginning of my Chinese adventure.
How much the cityscape and your own, let's say, urban experience is affecting your art creation? Because as an architect, I
Absolutely.
see a lot of architecture behind there.
You're
know?
right.
It's like, right?
Yeah, you're right. That's the observation. So Ecuador is a country that, especially my city, is full of earthquakes. Like
Okay.
if you want to build a building in my city, you have to follow a lot of rules.
Ecuador is right on a fucking plate, right?
Yeah,
It's,
Ecuador. We have a lot of earthquakes. Maybe not like very major earthquakes.
But it's
more
like
costly.
right on a plate, right? Like it's
Yeah, we're in a
fucking-
plate. We're in the Andean
Yeah.
plate, right?
So it's like
one of
two tectonic plates that are fucking.
in my city, like
And then, yeah, I know.
you know. So like, yeah, I had like I experience a lot of these shakes all the time, right? And the buildings as well. So you have to build not so tall buildings. So my city is famous for having a limit of floors.
How many
Right.
floors?
Height. It's like 26 or back then. Maybe the technology developed. So like the last time I went to Ecuador was like huge buildings already, but was a city of small houses, and even buildings was like projects and residential buildings was like no more than 20 something, you know. So when I come to Shenzhen,
Yeah, but it's rather normal. I don't think LA has more than 20 buildings being over 30 floors high.
yeah,
Like
No, it doesn't.
In the center, there is like 12 of them.
yeah, but
Yeah,
it's the
that's
same.
it.
Like Sao Paulo, Buenos Aires, what else? Like big cities in my continent that I visit, Bogota. Yeah, you don't go more than 20, 30.
Mexico City. The first time I landed there, man, it took me half an hour from since they announced Mexico City, and I start to see houses, and I keep on seeing houses.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then
yeah,
I arrive
yeah,
at the
yeah,
airport, and the airport is on the kind of I think if I don't remember.
But you didn't see any big buildings? Any tall buildings?
northeastern part of the city, and I was flying from Europe, so I was driving from that side. So for half an hour, I've seen half of the city.
So what were you doing in Mexico City?
What do you mean?
What were you doing in
It
Mexico?
was a trip where in South America I was going for some conferences and stuff. It was, I think, 2012.
So it was a layover, or you just?
I was flying from Paris, but I remember it was like very fucking constant, long
Low buildings.
pattern of urbanized area,
Yeah,
and that is Mexico City.
yeah,
Is like the extension. We might be surprised. I mean, in Shenzhen, if you look at it's kind of like this. I mean, if you go from Bao'an to the end of Longgang, it might take you 2 hours drive at least.
yes.
Like
Right,
going,
yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
know. This is probably half of Mexico City.
Oh
Just
yes,
in-
Mexico. But you're talking about one of like what is like one of the
But Quito is small.
Quito is small. Mexico City is one of the most dense and biggest
Yeah,
populated cities in the world.
Yeah,
Population
at least in
is
Americas,
huge.
you know.
Yeah.
But Quito is fucking small. Like,
It's
I don't
it's
remember
small.
any
It's a-
fucking. I don't remember any big
Quito
buildings. in
Quito is small, but is
It's in a valley. So Quito is like it's a valley city. So they have the right and left side. There's fucking mountains, and then in the middle there's the fucking city.
Right.
Yeah.
So then you go up. A lot of the rich people live. I can't like I know like a lot of rich people live on the right side of the mountain. If you're looking at it the right way.
yeah, you're right. Yeah, towards the valleys.
Yeah.
The hills,
You
right?
know?
Kind of like and in the other mountain is like the opposite.
Yeah, it's like nobody's living
Illegal
there.
construction sometimes
Yeah.
All right.
next to like
Like
dangerous
the
places.
favelas or whatever, you know, like the fucking.
Yeah, we don't. So this is something that in Ecuador we have some cities that has this kind of like favela, like Guayaquil,
Well,
but Quito doesn't have. We have places where people will with less resources live there, but we don't have extreme poverty in the
Right.
city. We don't.
yeah, I never saw anything.
No. Quito is
I never saw. I mean,
quite nice.
I never saw anything. I never saw anything in Ecuador that I felt was like poor. Like
What age you when you went there? What year was it?
I would say 2000. Let's say like 2006, 2005.
All right, yeah, it was already very cool times. I born in the nicest times of Ecuador, but I heard that in the 80s it was a little bit
rough.
sketchy.
But when I went there, man, it was like one of the best trips I had in my life was going to Ecuador. And I say like I've never been to Europe, so I don't know anything about fucking European cities. But like the most beautiful city I've ever been to in my entire life was Cuenca.
Wow.
And also I think it was like a special time. It was like it was a festival season. I think it was related to some religious holiday. So there was a lot of like street vendors and fucking they were like putting lanterns in the sky and a lot of like beautiful things happening, right?
Have you seen the colorful expression of this? You saw it like it was a colorful festival, or was more like
it was more like beautiful and somber, not so much like colorful.
right. Yeah, so maybe that
It
was
would have been like August, July, August.
Speaking about colorful, like you're already super colorful. Can I share one thing?
Yeah.
You know well that I'm colorblind, but I'm quite doing well in my business.
With dealing with colors, right? Colorblind.
But
dealing
I
with
know
colors.
very well how to define them and deal with them, even though I cannot name them. But when I look at your things, I don't have any problem in seeing
Defining
your
what
songs.
colors it is?
I mean, I love your palette.
Wow, that's amazing.
It's like I think that scientifically I could explain why, because like the tones you are using in the contrast, they are having very different waves of reflection, like the yellow and the pinks and the purples that you use. So it's very difficult to miss them, even though you're colorblind.
Wow.
But they are very catchy. Where does it come from? Like, is it? I mean, I don't want to say something stupid, but for sure I can see that the yellow and the reds are part of the Ecuador flag, if I'm not wrong. But is it something to do with that? Is it because of your first inspiration, or where does it come from?
Yeah, it's a very good question, because the colors I put there are not by accident. I did a very scientific research of my culture.
Okay.
And I brought the colors of the colorful tones of how the Andean women were.
Wow. Okay.
Okay, this is crazy. Let me introduce you a little bit of my research. Okay, there is a terminology called thermal photochrometry. It's
Thermal color thermometry.
It's like color,
Associated
temperature,
with the temperature and, how to
and
express
electricity,
that in,
right?
Yeah.
Because after all, the wavelength of the colors, as you say, like you can distinguish because of the frequency
Exactly.
of the colors, right? You have in the music, you have also the tones of sounds, right? In the colors, you also have
The waves. And
waves from ultraviolet to infrared.
Exactly.
And right, okay. 3,000 years ago, the Andean women realized, and the society back then in the Tahuantinsuyo, they realized that there is a power of some colors to reflect more light and absorb more light.
Okay.
We all know that. They experimented. You wear black in the
hot.
sunshine, and you feel super hot.
Yeah.
When you wear white, that's why the people in the Arabian countries, they wear these like white tunics to expel the heat of the electricity of the sun. So what they did is they live in a very high place. You have a lot of sun, but it's cold, right?
So you want to absorb it.
So you want to absorb. And how they do it, they were very dark colors outside, and they were layers. The layers inside have more and bright colors. So imagine you have this poncho, black, but inside of the poncho is purple. The cloth inside is maybe red. Inside they have something neon, and the underwear is yellow neon or pink neon.
Okay.
The socks they wear are like super colorful, but you don't see that at first glance because they cover with darker colors, and that was on purpose to absorb the temperature and keep themselves warmer. That's kind of like knowledge, right? So when I saw that, I was like, there is something in the colors I see in the culture there, and I wanted to understand the reason. And in the university, I started doing some research on the patterns, the colors, and I didn't like how many artists try to use the symbols and the patterns that you see in their colors, and they use that in their work. I wanted to be more deep, so I choose the colors instead of the symbols. Right? So that's how I start every time I work on my paintings. I start with a palette. So I do a sketch, and I do my palette. So I check the colors that I want to put together to symbolize this energy from the Andean countries. And the second point is the architecture. So you can imagine.
I asked you in the beginning.
Right.
I can
So
see
this is the point where these two things are coming together. As artists, we are ambassadors of the times we are living, because 1,000 years after, people will refer to, this is how they used to live.
Right.
This is how the buildings was back then. This is how the people feel, right? This is how we do. So I do believe on that artists, we are here for the purpose of register the times we're living in, and that's what we do. And also I bring that from the hip hop culture. Like you listen what is happening and you tell them
Right.
without filters, right? So that's what I'm doing with my art. I select the colors of my spirit, and I want to paint the gray of the big cities. Because for me, these cities are like cool, moving super fast, growing, but still gray. And I miss the part that
Absolutely, I get it.
that I live with, that I grow with. So in this vision I had, I try to project these buildings as people and people as buildings, because for me it's the same. Even when you dream about buildings, you're actually dreaming about your own growth, right? And people were like buildings will also grow, right? So there is a lot of connection for me, semiotically speaking. And when I was living in Ecuador, my perspective of the things was, you can imagine my city, as you mentioned, because you were there. You're surrounded by volcanoes. So my vision of the horizon was the size of my city. You can imagine when I was kid, my universe was that bowl, right? And when I start like going out and I start watching all these, when you go to the beach and when you go to the sea and to all these cities that are like seas of houses, as you mentioned, like Mexico, like Sao Paulo, like Rio, like I start changing my perspective, and I start thinking on how beautiful the expression of people are integrated on these very basic constructions where we live. And I have this background of my father is an architect, so I always love to build things in terms of like houses. And I see that every house is an expression also, right? You see the houses of Quito are super different from the houses of Bogota and the houses on other cities, and they reflect the personality of the people. So that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to see what is the personality of the city, and I get fascinated with the craziness of the design of Shenzhen, which is a city that just appeared. Some buildings are like super, like some are looking like, you know, Zaha Hadid buildings, and then you have also like, you don't know who designed the building, maybe the engineer, you know. Right. And that mix is something fascinating for me. That contrast. And you have it, right? You have like this super random building, and next to this you have this futuristic building from the year 3000, right? That's what I want to put in my work. And the perspective is very important, because when I started working for these corporations, back then in Ecuador, I used to work in a place super nice next to the fields, and I see the colors and the ground. And when I work, I can see, you know, the people, the street. But now, in the last 10 years of my career, I sit next to a building where from the window, everyone looks like an ant, right? And my perspective changed a lot.
Right.
So you can see the isometric perspective on most of my works.
Like physical perspective in terms of like of scale and geometry and proportions.
Exactly.
Okay.
Speaking about, we're talking like technical drawing. And
okay.
My perspective is actually how I see the world right now. So when you see these buildings like from above,
right,
is on purpose. Is how I see the world right now, from the perspective and the position where I am right now. So I can see the buildings from high, right? I was working in Oppo. It's like one of the tallest buildings in the city. And when you work there, you really see how beautiful the buildings are from above. And this is something I found. This is artistic. This is so beautiful.
Plus, it's super meaningful because it's not it is not like a random choice. It's like part of your creative baggage, part of your development.
Yes.
Plus, like you were just saying, you were working in Oppo. That was your perspective, and recently, I mean, we can say it, right? I mean, you are like now on your own. You had this great chance, opportunity, time that you've been called the no-name art residency, which I want to hear something from, as you know, I know very well the situations and stuff. when we talked about it, we didn't know we were talking about that, but the circle is closed. And now is a super new chapter of your life. How do you see it? How do you feel
It happened.
I mean,
I always look for this point where I can be financially stable in a way that I can stop, live out of my savings, and start looking for my own thing, right? So there are two passions I have right now. One is the design. I really love to do it. I saw how my design became products and became millions of products and units and make millions of people and kids happy around the world. And I love that because I see the purpose of my work. So in one hand, I keep my studio, the figure studio, and I'm doing graphic design, consultancy, creative consultancy. So I'm helping also companies to come with creative ideas for campaigns and things like that, coming with the experience I acquired in the last years of experience in Oppo. But in the other side, in the other hand, I have this artistic career, and I am so happy that here in China, there are so many places where you can really try it, right? So first time I went to Jordan Orange, I did a residency, super cool. They're also coming here to Nantou.
Yeah.
I heard. I don't know if it's official, but I heard that.
it seems like
It seems like,
I
right?
think they're on the way.
They're on the way. And yeah, I met them. I'm a friend also of Sid, so I had the chance to be there for 6
Right.
months, working, painting, learning from him, and it was like an amazing experience. Second opportunity, I went to TNT in Dafen, and
Right, yeah,
another residency. Make good friends. I'm working with them. They are also my clients in the marketing side, so I'm helping them with some campaigns and some arrangements. And during that time, Carlo, the manager of No Name Studio, he posted on some artist groups about if there are some foreigner artists that they want to have a residency. I was like, I have my portfolio, I have already all this work. I sent, and the guy called me like right away. There was a nice connection with Carlo. We became very good friends right now. So when we called me, he told me like, yeah, this is what we are doing. When I heard that, for me was like, this is so solid. They know how the art career, because sometimes people focus more on the business side of the art, like we're going to do 10 paintings and we're going to sell, and the 50-50, this kind of stuff. And I don't like so much, because sometimes they offer you like, we're going to make this and we're going to sell all, and the reality you end up like super frustrated, right? So
it's good they're looking at long term. Like,
exactly.
What they're doing there, man. I mean, give me goosebumps. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
First of all, they love it, and then they say long term, because it's not that they open a place in the center of Shanghai, man. You need to travel 1
So
hour to
far
get
away.
there.
It's 1 hour, but it's a very
But it's worth.
is a place that I also want to introduce you guys to go whenever you can. Zhujiajiao is a very old town, right? And it became now a creative hub. Many artists from all around China are moving to live there because it's cheap, it's isolated from the craziness of the big cities, and you already have this network of artists living there. So when I went there, my graffiti friends told me, you're coming here, let's go for a barbecue. The first day I arrived to Zhujiajiao, I met like 20 artists of the town, and we start like going out. Meanwhile, my paintings and the materials was arriving, I was hanging out with the artist. So I already make like amazing connections and amazing projects with them.
And super inspirations, I guess, also from what they're
And the
doing. what they're
inspiration.
thinking.
So, as I told you, my art is very what's the word for that? Is a work of observation,
Okay.
contemplation of the places, and when I went there, I observed the town, right? It's very experiential.
Okay.
Would you say it? So I just stay there and I experience the city, the town, the elements, the architecture, the flow of the city. I understand, and I like this urban happening, and this is what I put back
in
in my
your
work.
creation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I choose the number 6, right? I choose 6 pieces. circular pieces because the symbolism of circle in China as universe, right? As unities, as planets, as windows of what I was watching. So I draw places I loved, like that symbolizes a lot for me. Like for example, the bridge. The bridge connect the place I was living and the place where all the artists was like hanging out.
Right.
So that bridge was for me like is the connection, you know, like
with the artist community.
Right. Yeah. So every piece that I did there was like very symbolic, and was an amazing experience. The residency is amazing.
I know.
You can imagine. Carlo is an artist, and he's creating a residency for the artist. So when you arrive there, it's like you have everything that you will love to have, because he made it like for him.
He projected that into. I mean, being an artist himself, he projected that into making you guys.
Exactly, and he made it is amazing. So you can imagine, I had like a huge place with an amazing hamac hanging in the ceiling. I had a studio, the windows,
the pantry, the double height space, and
that pantry with double decker. I have a cinema where I project my work. I was alone there for like a month, right?
So you were there for a month just making art by yourself?
Just by myself for a month.
It's finished. Just making
alone.
Art. You left your wife and your kid?
Yeah.
Your kid and wife is in Shenzhen?
Yeah, because you know what happened? I was thinking to bring them with me, maybe the last week or something like that, because after all I needed to focus on my work, right? But the day I left was the second case of the COVID and the city.
Yeah, it was also when we were became yellow, was
problems.
problems.
Like lockdown and shit.
Yeah, it was like the first lockdown after 2 years or something, right?
Oh, yeah.
And I am arriving in Shanghai 6 a.m. and they launched the yellow alert 12. So like my family was like, we're not coming. So I was there by myself for a month, cooking, eating, just staying there, going out basically just to buy food, right? But I didn't need it because as we were talking, we have this project, crazy idea. When I paint with that passion, I lose myself into the art, and sometimes I don't even feel hungry, really.
I know.
You know that. You know how it is. So for me, it was like these 30 days happened just like boom. I had maybe 2-3 chances to go out to meet my friends and hang out, and that was it. A lot of friends, couple of friends, like Luciano, like some of my friends, they came to see me.
Oh yeah.
And they like
during your residency.
During the residency,
okay.
Luciano came, and I was like, bro, this is your house. I'm painting. I'm in the zone. Do whatever you want to do. Sleep here if you want. And I keep painting. And he's like, bro, I just came to see you painting. That's all, you know.
Wow.
And it was very cool. And yeah, a couple of friends came like that. So I still feel the support that my people came, and the place was amazing. The place was awesome. So yeah, I had the opportunity also to, when I was painting there, Decio, which is another French artist in Shanghai, he was sharing the residency with me. So he was in the first floor, I was in the third floor, and we was like from time to time hanging out and eating together or having breakfast. So was an amazing experience. It was the experience of the year.
Wow.
Absolutely.
What did you bring back with you to Shenzhen after that? I know it's a very complicated question, but
yes. No,
because it is a changing moment, not only for your art but also for your life.
Yeah, when I went there was a special moment because I quit my 9 to 6 work.
It was a high profile job you quit.
Let's say it was a very high profile job, right? Demanding and super stressful. Because this is like in Shenzhen, you can imagine with this speed, and you have to headquarters of Oppo.
Yeah.
Creative director of the social media overseas, you know. You have to like.
Big position.
It's a big position. It was like
something you like.
It was not like just like something. It was a big position, and well, thanks to that, I had this chance to decide. You know what? It's time to
just fucking
do
get
it
the
by
paints
myself.
and brushes and
yeah, And I'm going to do painting whenever I want because I'm very respectful with my art inspiration wave. So when I got it, I paint. When not, I keep it. You know, I don't paint just for like, we need to do 20 pieces.
Right.
No, I'm not this kind of artist. When I get the ideas for the next round of work,
then you got it.
Bye, George. You don't know where I am. I'm painting. I disappear. That's how I do. And yeah, at my place, at my home, I also have my studio, and it's ready. Canvases, paintings, and everything is ready whenever I have this wave of inspiration. When the muse
come
hits
right.
you.
Talk to you.
Hits me. So I'm always ready for that. In the meantime, I opened my company here. So me and my wife, we made it. We have our own company. We register it. We did the paperwork. You know, as a foreigner, you need a visa. You need to work.
Right,
so
right.
we cover all that. And I went to Shanghai. We did at first. I went to Shanghai, and I work on that. I keep looking for my clients. I was doing my graffiti, my art. I came back with a very light weight of life. You know, I don't even know what time is it, and I don't care, right? I know it's very late. It's like maybe almost midnight.
11.
Yeah. And I'm doing this for the community, for the art. I'm so happy. When I was like committed with my work, with my office job.
Always running after a deadline, hours after. Yeah, I know.
You cannot do that. I was now sitting in my office, maybe planning the campaign or maybe talking with another country because the time zones, right? So I always had this. You remember when I told you I was studying business?
Right.
I didn't want it. I didn't like it, but it was the time. And I learned things that are helping me now.
You absorb it.
And I absorbed it. I had all these 10 years of office work. I like it. I travel around the world. It was really good. I met amazing people. But deep inside of me, I know I am an artist. And the design was a path to make this art happen. Maybe Donatello, Raphael, Da Vinci, they had mecenas, they have kings supporting them. I don't. I am my own supporter, so I have to be a designer. And I also love to do my design. Right. And I'm enjoying, and it's getting well. It's doing good. And my clients, they know that my design work has this artistic touch. You know?
Yes. Absolutely, man.
So that's what I'm doing.
You can really, I mean, as I told you, of course, we are creative people and stuff, but I think your art is very powerful in many different layers. It's easy to interpret. It has an impact in terms of visuals and colors. Like I tell you, if you take the Venere from Botticelli and you open in Photoshop and you turn it into black and white, you will barely see just the face and the body. Turn your art in black and white in Photoshop. Everything is the same contrast. I tell you, being a colorblind person, I have a different perspective into how I see it. And then also somehow it's simple to understand in the sense that because it's personal what you are putting into there is nothing too complicated, where I think everybody can see you're talking about people and places and city and space and geometry. You know, there's no like hidden meaning. So it's very impactful. And plus, this might be personal, but then you can tell me from the business side. I can see how also into a business level of design, that kind of approach in terms of palette shapes and approach and interpretation can be very successful applied to products or
to any product
designs.
Right now. Yeah,
it's very unique somehow. Yet being I say simple in a good way. We are not talking about like Guernica or things that you need to have studied art, like to understand. It's like bold, and as I say it in a good thing, because especially in the field of design, I think I can speak about it with a bold heart. You don't need to be complicated to be successful. Like good design is something that is. Good design is something that you don't notice sometimes. Good design is something that works without needing you to understand
Explanation,
how.
yeah.
So
I agree with that.
I see
I,
that.
I mean, I have to say, I'm also a fan of these conceptual artists. I like sometimes to go there to see the rhetoric and the story behind it. It's interesting.
Right.
But me personally, how you understand my background and everything, I am more into, you see, you get what you see, right? Like practical, and maybe that's why also my art became commercial. And thanks to my commercial approach to business, I also bring it back.
Exactly.
So what you see in my work is this is what I am.
Exactly.
You have a very
But this is also a practical thing. The fact that you are also have been working now into the design field is not happening by chance. I mean, Maurizio Catalan that put a banana with a tape on the wall can be very Instagrammable. But if you don't know about art, very rarely you would understand what that means and why that. Let me say bullshit. If you just look at it, it's a banana tape on a wall. It's so expensive, but you have to know everything behind, from Andy Warhol to all the things that happened in the past 50 years. It is not for everyone.
absolutely.
Cannot be commercial. An artist like that would never be commercial. Andy Warhol was very commercial. I mean, you can see many music artists, they used and translated his art into the cover of their albums.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Pop art. That's at that time probably nobody was combining things to design, because design was not at the level of being developed in a way that had a method, had a structure for which even in terms of technology it was maybe hard to combine art and design in the way we can do it nowadays. Sculpture were done by hands, and products were done almost like square boxes because of technology. Nowadays, that boundary is very much blurred, and I can see how this is going to be a very potential and successful way of applying your art into market and practical things. I can see it. So I'm saying it really like out of a how do you say, positive critique and appreciation of it. And if it's happening, it's not by chance. We know. It wouldn't have happened otherwise. You wouldn't be where you are if it was not like that.
Right. Thank you. That was a very nice compliment from where you guys are witness of what is happening in my career in the city. And yeah, it was awesome to listen what you just said about the art and the color palette. You're right. That's what I'm trying to do. And let's see what is happening in the next months, years. You will see. There are some projects that I can't say right now yet, but some couple things are coming. Like my art is going to be part of products. There are some products of art coming.
Okay.
For sure. Like, as a big fan, since the day I knew about you and the day I met you, your artwork and what you've done has always been a big inspiration for myself and many artists in the city who see what you do. I'm super looking forward to the next chapter of your life, from coming from the streets of Ecuador to Shenzhen,
to the highways of Shenzhen,
to getting the big position at Oppo, to leaving this fucking top company in China, to going off on your artist retreat for a month just to fucking paint and smell the texture of the fucking brushes or whatever. And I'm positive that no matter what you do in the future, you're gonna have a fucking impact on many people's lives in some way. So, big
Thank
respect
you.
for what you're doing. I really appreciate you coming here today and being a guest on our podcast.
Of course, we're gonna see you soon. Not only for some casual meetings and stuff, but hopefully
we're gonna lock in like 3 days.
Gonna lock you at least. We will find a way to have you in our creative corner.
We have crazy ideas because
You know what we can do? Like we could totally lock you in, and we can
And you
throw
drop it.
food over.
We can
the
bring
wall.
you food over here.
And you can like put us like piss bottles and shit bags.
we can talk with Quaidi. Quaidi is the app, right?
Yeah.
If Quaidi want to sponsor a crazy experiment
They
to
will do it.
keep a person alive for 3 days, call us. We have a crazy
Plus,
idea.
we did it on purpose in a way that we can live stream it. Or,
Yeah.
you know, it's like an aquarium of art.
Yeah.
It's like the Big Brother of art. Somehow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Big Brother of art, right?
You want to see me? Yeah, just come.
No, but jokes apart, of course, I think we are all in the same line about why we do what we do and how we do what we do. So it's been great not only to discuss what we did, but also to look forward for the next casual steps and happenings. We will wish you all the best of this next chapter in life. Like someone said, once you spread the wings, you can only aim high, and worst case scenario, you have been flying. All the other people are there looking at you. So
Oh, sorry.
that's one of the best wish I can say on my side, and looking forward to have you here next, either behind or after the microphone, either before or behind this wall. It's been a pleasure, and thank you for your time. For those who listen to us, you will find all the info and links in case you don't know all the amazing works of Jorge and Starman Funk, so you can follow all the latest updates. And for us, being here live, it's been an honor. We'll say hi also to your live followers here on Instagram for the first time live stream.
And most likes, right? You said,
Now there are 3 persons looking at it,
but before, right?
yeah, but the likes
Okay,
in
so
the previous
I
are like,
have one more question. This is totally random fucking bullshit question before we close it off.
right.
So I went to Ecuador before. There's a fucking beach town in the middle of the country, on the beach.
Montañita.
Like you go to the beach and fuck.
It's a total beach city.
Okay.
What's it? Say it again.
Montañita. It's like
Montañita.
little mountain in Spanish.
But it's a total beach town, right?
Yeah.
Surf town.
It's a surf town.
Surf town.
Yeah.
Boom. That's where I went. I forgot this fucking name. Beautiful. That's where I got fucking bit by 1,000 fucking jellyfish. When I was surfing. in the
Whoa.
Yeah. It was small ones.
You
Like,
told me the story. I don't
Yeah,
remember it was in
was
Ecuador.
in
there.
Ecuador.
Fuck.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
There's
that
like, oh, it's coming from like the fucking, what is it, the Antarctica currents coming up from the south up to the north, and fucking bring all the jellyfish, fucking bite your balls.
Boom. Stung.
Yeah,
1,000
fucking
times.
done, dude.
Near to death.
Yeah.
You know, when I was
actually
from
wasn't like that. It was just
when I
fucking-
was from Montañita, there is an island. You can see the whales
Okay.
dancing and jump. You can take boats, and suddenly in the middle of the nowhere
they
in the
just
sea,
fucking pop up.
huge whales jumping next to you. People just get crazy. It's crazy. It's hunting crazy.
You like Montañita?
I love I went to Montañita once.
But
It's
actually,
a
okay.
crazy city, you know. It's a crazy place.
It's not even a city. It's fucking small.
It's a town.
It's a small village, dude.
Yeah, it's a corner of a town. It's
It's
like
nothing. It's like the whole place.
And when we say village, not Chinese
No,
village.
But the biggest race.
Size of Nantou. Honestly, like size
Oh,
of,
all right.
Size of Nantou. What do I remember
Yeah.
about it?
Yeah, maybe it's like what? Like
The size of this place, man. It was like fucking like
Yeah,
three streets. Like every block has like 10 shops.
All right.
And that's it.
But
That's what I remember.
they have like one of the biggest surf events every year.
Surfing's good, yeah.
So, like the best surfers of the country like practice there. The best waves.
Wow.
It's
I mean,
amazing.
there might have been like the beach town and like the real town, but like I was just on the beach town.
And a lot of foreigners living there. I don't know
Yeah,
now,
Yeah,
but back
this
then,
was like I said, like 2005,
yeah.
2006 maybe.
Yeah, you used to go to like the parties and people was like speaking in English, like
Yeah, it was
very international. Yeah.
we always spoke in English.
Well,
Anyways.
it's gonna be part of one of our steps, because sooner or later, me and Sherry, we're gonna do a world tour, as we promised each other. Sherry needs to come to Italy with me. I need to go back to the States with him. And in between, we have to say hi to a lot of people in a lot of places.
Let's go to fucking Ecuador together.
So Ecuador is gonna be a stop. So we're gonna make sure we pair with you.
If you do it, let's plan it. I will be your host there.
It's gonna happen. I tell you, we're gonna take.
Yeah.
But we have to go to fucking. We go to Quito first. This is my trip. This is the trip I went to Quito. To fucking Cuenca. Cuenca's the fuck, man. Like, if I meet a beautiful girl in Cuenca and she's just live with me for the rest of your life right here in the city, I'm fucking sold, dude. I don't give a fuck. I'll leave you on the spot. Be like, yeah, right here, man. Honestly, I have fucking dreams, fucking wet dreams of this fucking city, dude. I don't know.
Yeah?
I don't know what hit me, man.
I need to see it, bro.
But maybe it's nothing to you because you grew up all your life in Europe and fucking Italy and
It's
all
like
the
a
shit.
very European little
Okay.
city. Has this flavor, right? But
It's
also
Spanish architecture.
Spanish
right?
architecture. But now it also is like they have a big American town because there are many expats
really?
living there. It's like the biggest expat community in Ecuador.
Oh, okay.
But fucking beautiful city, man.
It's very-
Well, we gotta see them all, man.
So, anyways, fuck, dude.
Right.
Not to fucking diverge from closing this
Time.
podcast.
Live from Nantou, Freddy and Sherry and Jorge Starman Funk.
Starman Funk, dude.
It's been a huge pleasure.
Likewise.
Thanks for being here. Thanks for your time. For all of you following us,
We're doing a world tour in 2000.
we're gonna do the World Tour 2022. We are coming to you and coming hot, so be ready. And press the fucking button with the heart down here if you like what we're doing. And we'll talk soon. And hopefully you will get also to see practically here in Shenzhen and maybe in our Curry Corner some of the beautiful work of Jorge Starman Funk.
Let's do it.
Freddie,
do it.
Chetty, Jorge, designer,
We're out.
out. Boom.
Cheers, dude.
Cheers.
Boom.
Cheers.